North Korean pop culture, including its music scene, is vastly different from its southern counterpart. The North Korean regime tightly controls all aspects of culture, including music, to reinforce its ideology and maintain political control over its citizens. In North Korea, the government promotes a limited range of music that adheres to the principles of the Juche ideology, which emphasizes self-reliance, nationalism, and devotion to the ruling Kim dynasty. Songs often praise the country's leaders and glorify the socialist system. These songs are typically performed by state-sanctioned music groups. Examples include the Moranbong Band and the Pochenbo Electronic Ensemble. North Korean pop music tends to be highly orchestrated, with a focus on patriotic and revolutionary themes. Instruments like the accordion, guitar, and traditional Korean instruments are commonly used, and performances often feature elaborate choreography and visually striking uniforms. In contrast, South Korean pop music, K-pop, has achieved global popularity for its catchy tunes, stylish performances, and innovative music videos. K-pop artists undergo rigorous training, typically under entertainment companies, honing their singing, dancing, and stage presence. K-pop groups like BTS and Blackpink have large international fan bases across the world and regularly top charts. The success of K-pop is largely attributed to its production values, diverse range of genres, and strategic marketing efforts. K-pop music videos are known for their high production quality, intricate choreography, and colorful visuals, quite distinct from the North Korean variety. Additionally, K-pop groups often incorporate elements of Western pop, hip-hop, and R&B into their music, making it more appealing to a global audience. While South Korean pop culture thrives on freedom of expression and creativity, North Korean pop culture is heavily censored and serves as a propaganda tool for the regime. The stark contrast between the two reflects the broader differences between the two Koreas in terms of political systems, economic development, and their whole culture. International popularity. The recent breakout hit, if you can call it that, Friendly Father, is the exception that proves the rule that North Korean music is not internationally popular. This is probably due to the isolated nature of the country, the strict control over its cultural exports, and the kind of strange nature of the music. Does anyone really want to listen to people sing about how great Kim Jong-un is, or let's study, or follow socialism, or whatever else? Despite this, there are a few instances where North Korean music has received some amount of attention beyond the borders of North Korea. Moranbong Band performances. The Moranbong Band, which is an all-female musical group in North Korea, gained some international attention for their performances. In 2012, they performed a series of concerts in China, which garnered some interest in international media. Their songs, although primarily focused on promoting North Korean ideology, of course, have often been shared online and sparked curiosity among foreign audiences. Not so dissimilar to the current hit Friendly Father. The Pochenbo Electronic Ensemble, known for its revolutionary and patriotic songs, has occasionally performed abroad in countries with friendly relations with North Korea, China and Russia most notably. Their music, while not widely popular internationally, has been heard by some audiences outside of North Korea during these performances. And then, of course, there are the good old-fashioned North Korean propaganda songs, which have been covered or referenced occasionally in Western media, although generally with a satirical or critical tone. These songs, such as We Are the Happiest in the World or Let's Study, are designed to promote loyalty to the regime and praise its leaders. You can actually find some North Korean pop on Western music streaming services, including such banging hits as We Will Follow You Only and Advancing in Socialism. Even just browsing through the titles gives some sense of how far these themes are from popular K-pop songs from the South. Overall, North Korean music's international reach is extremely limited compared to the widespread popularity of South Korean K-pop. The North Korean government tightly controls its cultural exports, making it challenging for its music to gain traction outside of the country. Additionally, the ideological nature of North Korean music is just not going to appeal to most people. For the North Korean government, music is part of a broader effort to maintain ideological control over its citizens. This control extends to the production, distribution, and consumption of cultural products, ensuring that they adhere to the regime's ideological guidelines and serve its propaganda purposes. The Workers' Party of Korea, the ruling political party in North Korea, oversees the country's cultural institutions and agencies responsible for producing and promoting pop culture. These institutions operate under the guidance of the Propaganda and Agitation Department, which enforces ideological purity and loyalty to the regime. In particular, the State Security Department closely monitors cultural activities to prevent any perceived threats to the regime's authority. Artists and performers are expected to produce works that glorify the leadership, promote socialist values, and reinforce loyalty to the regime. There is some evidence to suggest that top government officials, including leader Kim Jong-un, are directly involved in shaping North Korean pop culture. Kim Jong-un himself has been known to attend cultural events and provide guidance on artistic matters. His public appearances at concerts and performances serve to bolster the image of the regime and reinforce loyalty among citizens. Additionally, North Korean media frequently promotes Kim Jong-un as a cultural icon, portraying him as a benevolent leader, almost godlike figure, who is deeply engaged in the arts and culture of the country. This cult of personality surrounding the leader is a central aspect of North Korean propaganda efforts, and it permeates all aspects of society, including its pop culture. Overall, the North Korean government's control over pop culture is pervasive and tightly enforced, with top officials, including Kim Jong-un, playing a direct role in shaping and promoting cultural products that serve the regime's propaganda objectives. So how is music actually consumed within North Korea, given the government restrictions and the unusual technological landscape of the country? In North Korea, music consumption is largely controlled and regulated by the government. Well, aren't you surprised? There is limited access to outside influences and technologies. The government, of course, tightly controls production, distribution, and even consumption of music to ensure it aligns with the regime's ideological objectives. Within North Korea, there are several ways in which music is consumed. State-approved performances. The government organizes and promotes various musical performances, concerts, and events featuring state-sanctioned music groups and performers. These often showcase patriotic and revolutionary themes and serve to reinforce loyalty to the regime and its leadership. State-owned media. North Korean citizens have access to state-owned media outlets, including television, radio, and newspapers, which broadcast and promote government-approved music and cultural content. These media outlets heavily censor and control the content to ensure that it adheres to the regime's ideological guidelines. Government-approved music. The government produces and distributes music recordings and albums featuring songs that praise the regime and promote socialist values. These recordings are often sold through state-run stores and distributed to schools, workplaces, and other institutions, again, for propaganda rather than necessarily entertainment purposes. Limited access to foreign music. While access to foreign music is highly restricted in North Korea, some state-approved foreign music may be available through official channels. However, such music is carefully selected and censored to ensure it does not undermine the regime's authority or promote any ideas that might be contrary to its ideology. Traditional music. Traditional Korean music, such as folk songs and classical music, also plays a significant role in North Korean culture and is promoted by the government as part of the country's cultural heritage. The technological landscape in North Korea is vastly different from most modern countries, with limited access to the internet and modern communication technology. The government, of course, tightly controls access to information and technology, including the importation of foreign media and entertainment, and so as a result, North Korean citizens have limited exposure to international music and rely primarily on government-approved music and cultural content. Overall, music consumption in North Korea is heavily influenced by government restrictions and propaganda efforts, with limited access to outside influences and technologies compared to most modern countries. The government's tight control over media and cultural activities ensures that music serves as a tool for promoting loyalty to the regime and reinforcing its ideological objectives. Access to platforms like Spotify or similar streaming services is not widely available in North Korea, due to the government's strict control over internet access and information. The country has a highly centralized and heavily censored intranet, which provides limited access to state-approved websites and content, but it does not include access to popular international websites or services like Spotify. Similarly, smartphones and other portable devices for listening to music are not widely available to the general population in North Korea. While there has been some limited introduction of mobile phones in recent years, particularly for elites and select individuals, the devices are heavily restricted and monitored by the government. Most North Koreans do not have access to smartphones or other modern portable devices for listening to music. Instead, music consumption in North Korea primarily occurs through state-controlled media channels, such as television, radio, state-owned stores that sell government-approved music recordings and albums. These channels provide access to music that aligns with the regime's ideological objectives for propaganda and indoctrination purposes. Overall, the technological landscape in North Korea is vastly different from that of most modern countries in the world, with limited access to the internet, streaming services, and modern communication technologies due to the government's tight control over information and technology. As a result, music consumption in North Korea remains heavily influenced by government restrictions and propaganda efforts.